How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Gundam card game video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today we are finally talking about what many consider to be one of the strongest decks in the entire Gundam card game. We have a green-white Gundam Wing style deck. Now this is my own little take on this type of deck. We are going for more of a Shenlong route with a couple interesting tech cards that I saw some Japanese players use and I thought was, hey, it's pretty interesting. Let's give it a shot. If you like massive, powerful mechs with tons of firepower, this is the deck for you. It brings about a certain degree of inevitability once you get there. It's a little slow, but we have some ways to hopefully counteract that, and once you do, well, the Wing Zero lays the artillery down hard. It also just happens to feature some of the absolute coolest Gundam designs in the entire franchise. Here's my master grade Death Scythe from Endless Waltz. I'm gonna build this very, very shortly. But I did recently build this high grade Wing Gundam kit. Actually a really, really fun and chill kit to build. But yeah, both of these mobile suits are featured in this particular deck, which is really cool. These are, you know, Gundams that I grew up with as a kid, as maybe many of you did as well. So really cool deck, lots of nostalgia, lots of power. So let's go into the top down and talk about it. Alright, so as with all of our Gundam card game deck tech videos, we're breaking this down into pilot piles, is what I'm now calling them. Pilot piles, and then we have our other mobile suits, and then we have everything else. And the pilot piles are essentially synergistic piles that each of these pilots basically go with, but there is a lot of cross-play between them, and we'll talk about that as we get to them. As you can see, they're not all made equal. Our boy Hero Yui here is pulling a lot of weight here, and that's because, hey, I hope you like the Wing Gundam, because we got a lot of Wing Gundam in our Gundam Wing style deck. Before we get started entirely, let's just kind of go over these. I'm gonna start doing this for all the deck techs, just kind of show off, you know, my little personal touch. So this one I'm using the classic, you know, beta foil resources and our custom Red Zone Rogue cards, which are now available on the merch store. These are patron awards that if I have extras, I sell them on the merch store. As of yesterday, in fact. So if you would like some of these, we sell these on the merch store. They're $10 each, and all proceeds go to, you know, commissioning more artists and manufacturing more stuff for the merch store. So anyway, let's get on with the deck. That's why you're here. So let's start by talking about the most important pilot pile, and that, of course, is Hero Yui. We have a lot of Wing Gundams in this deck, and Hero pairs and links with all of them. So he's a level 4, 1 cost, 2/1, but he's really a 3/2 because if it is linked, well then it gets that additional +1/+1, which is excellent. So Hero Yui is just super strong for this deck, and that's just to make it so that our Wing Gundams can be linked and attack immediately. Don't be afraid to just pair Hero Yui up with other cards in the deck if you have to. He does provide a decent amount of stats, but keep in mind that we do have a lot of link potential in this deck. 11 cards, in fact, which is pretty high. So Hero Yui is definitely one that we really want to, you know, look out for, and that I usually typically save for some link potential. So there's Hero Yui. Let's start by talking about one of the big haymakers of this deck. That is the Wing Gundam Zero, the level 8 cost unit with high maneuver, and on deploy you deal 3 damage to all units that are level 5 or lower. So it just makes absolute mincemeat out of smaller units. It's non-discriminatory. It will blow up our own as well, so we have to be really careful about that. Make, you know, good trades before we do this, just in case our units were going to die anyway. And it is a 5/7, which is pretty strong. The trait is G-Team, so definitely, you know, later Gundam Wing stuff, not Operation Meteor like the other stuff, but still relevant to one of the cards in the deck, and obviously links with a boy Hero Yui. When you do link, of course, you get that +3, +2, making this just an absolute 8/8 monster, right? So, yeah. very good, with also high maneuver. So just inevitability. That's what this card is. It is absolute inevitability. And I said 8-8. I was wrong. It is 8-9. Gets the additional plus, gets the additional +1 on the defense as well. Yeah, so 8-9, pretty big. We're running 3 in the deck. You can run the full 5 or full 4 if you want, and I'll tell you what you can cut from the deck if you want to run the 4. So, but I like 3. I think if I were to make other alterations to this deck, I would likely include another Wing Gundam 0. It's very strong. We also have the starter deck Wing Gundam LR. This card is crazy good. Level 6, 4 cost with Breach 5. It is a 4/5, and then this unit may choose any active enemy unit that is level 4 or lower as its attack target. So nothing is safe unless it has a high level from the Wing Gundam, and it has that Breach, which is so good. Once again, another absolute classic from the beta era. Just giving this +3/+2, making it, do the math right this time, a 7/7 is very strong. So yeah, this is an easy 4 of include in the deck. Super powerful, just, you know, helps control the board and also deal that extra bit of breach damage, which is going to be relevant for some of the other cards in the deck that are includes that you might not typically see in this style deck. And then finally we have the Wing Gundam Bird Mode. Nice little ramp card. It's a 3-drop or level 3, cost 3, 2/2. Once again, links with Hero Yui, and on deploy you get an EX resource. Helps us increase our level, helps us ramp a little bit so we can actually get to our big drops, which is exactly what we want to do. We want to start dropping Wing Gundams and Death Scythes turn after turn. We want to get to the point where it's just like haymaker, 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 until our opponent just is ground to dust. That's the general strategy with this. Speaking of the Death Scythe, my favorite character from the Gundam Wing show, Duo Maxwell, level 4, 1 cost, 1/2, and then during Link, this unit's AP can't be reduced by enemy attacks, which is, or enemies' effects, which is really good. There's a lot of white cards that reduce AP, and here, and Duo Maxwell here just says, nah, dude, that ain't happening. We are running 3 Duo Maxwell in the deck, and 3 Gundam Death Scythe. Now, Death Scythe, if I had a 4th one, I'd be running the 4th one. Once again, I'll tell you what we should cut to put in the 4th Death Scythe. But 3 has been good for me so far, and I think it is defensible, but also I think you should probably just be running 4. It is a level 6, 4 cost, 5/4, and then when it's paired with any Operation Meteor pilot, which is all of our pilots, so when it's paired with any of our pilots on the deck, then we place 1 rested resource. You just get a resource. It's not an EX resource. You just get another resource. It is rested, but it does increase your level, and you get it, you know, be able to use it next turn, which is super good. And then this unit gets first strike until end of turn, which is really good. Pair this with any of our pilots, and we're going to town. Pair this with Duo Maxwell, and hey, we're attacking immediately. We're smashing on in. We have a 6/6 first striking Gundam Death Scythe that also just ramped us. This card's super good. And it's especially good because it takes us from level 6 to level 8, right? Because we play this on turn 6, we get that extra resource, go up to level 7, and then the next turn, at the start of our turn, we get our resource, and hey, that's exactly enough for the Wing Gundam 0. So dropping the Death Scythe as early as possible is fantastic. Takes us from 6 to 8, essentially. Super good. I just want to note here, even though it's not relevant specifically to this video, but in future sets, when we get the Gundam Death Scythe Hell, this might be a situation where we're going to revisit this style of deck if it kind of falls off a little bit. It might not. The deck is really strong, but if it falls off a little bit, I'd be keeping an eye out for the Death Scythe Hell, because, you know, being able to, you know, suit up Duo in as many mobile suits as Hero can get in and link up with, well, then it's really going to be nasty. It's right now very strong. And then finally, not a pick that you see in every single Wing Breach style deck, we have Chang Wufei and the Shenlong. I think these are both really good, and I honestly can't see myself playing this deck without them. Level 4, 1 cost, 2/1, and then during your turn, if the unit has Breach, it can't receive battle damage from enemy units with 3 or less AP, which is really strong. Now, we don't have a ton of Breach units in the deck, but we do have some really powerful ones. As we already showed, we have the Wing Gundam, so if you can put Wufei on this, you still get his effect, which is pretty solid. It's not linked, so you'd have to wait a turn to attack, but still really solid. And then, of course, we have the Shenlong. So we have 3 Chang Wu-Feis in the deck, and we are running 4 of the Shenlong. This card is so good. I think people are coming around to how good this is. It is a level 5, 4-cost, 4/4 with 2 really good abilities. It just has Breach 4, and then also on attack, choose 1 enemy unit with blocker that is level 3 or lower, and you destroy it on attack. That's nuts. It also links with Chang Wu-Fei, but you don't have to link to get any of the other effects. So if you just play this out and it survives the next turn, you can start smashing in. And this notably destroys really annoying blockers like the Lifrith, which, hey, I'll showcase the Lifrith in just a moment. And stuff like the Zawart, just really, really solid, super good. And if this triggers at least once, you're really happy. And then you have the Breach. So this card is kind of cracked, especially when you pair it up, link it up with Chang Wu-Fei, smash on in for 6 damage on something. If it's small, then you're not even going to be taking damage back, and you blow up a blocker. It's super good. So, yeah. I can't see, like I said, I can't see me playing this deck without Chang Wu-Fei and the Shenlong Gundam. Even if they don't have a blocker to get that effect, it's still a Breach 4, which is still really, really good. So, yeah, very good. So this is what makes this deck so good. All of our Operation Meteor pilots. I should mention, by the way, all of these pilots are Operation Meteor. All of the mobile suits, all of their Gundams are also Operation Meteor. And of course, Hero Yui, Operation Meteor. This one is G-Team, but that still counts. We'll talk about that when it matters. And then Operation Meteor, of course, and Operation Meteor. All that stuff is relevant to some of our other effects. So let's talk about the rest of our mobile suits. They are all white, and we're going to be starting off by talking about this one. This is the one that I would likely cut if I were going to add another copy of the Wing Gundam Zero and Death Scythe. I'd cut these, but I think they're still fairly solid. So there's a level 5, 4-cost, 4/4. This is the Ailstrike Gundam. You've probably seen this a million times if you're familiar with Gundam, but in case you're new, it's a really solid card. It's a 4/4 with blocker, and it says, when paired with a level 4 or higher pilot, which is all of our pilots, then we can choose 1 enemy unit with 4 or less HP and return it to the owner's hand. Now, we're not running Kira Yamato for the link, but we don't need the link to actually get the effect. We just have to pair it with one of our pilots. So we can get the effect. So we are running 2 of these right now. I think the deck is really good with this, just kind of being able to bounce something pesky that's in the way, maybe another blocker, or just something that's being annoying is really, really solid. So yeah, that is good. But once again, I don't know. I kind of want to cut it for a Death Scythe and a Zero. So I don't know. We'll see. And then we have our other white cards. Now this one is a pretty standard card. The Gundam Lifrith. I mentioned it before. This is a great blocker if your opponent has it to blow it up with our Shenlong. It's a level 3, 2-cost, 2/4 with blocker. Super simple, super efficient, a staple of white in the Gundam card game right now. So yeah, we're running a full 4. Now, the next card, it's a little bit controversial, I would think. And I'm testing it out for this particular build. This is normally where the Zawart would go. Now, Zawart is a 2-drop, level 2, 2-cost, 3/2 with blocker, but it can't attack our opponent directly. I'm trying out the Demi Trainer instead. Now hear me out as to why. Obviously, the Zawart has better stats. It has +2, +1 better stats. But I saw this from a winning Japanese list, and I was like, you know, I kind of want to try it out because it makes a lot of sense for multiple reasons. Now, there's some obvious downsides, and the biggest, most obvious downside is that it just has 1 health, which means it does die much more easily to the blue-red direct damage pinger style deck, right? This is easy pickings for Marita Cruz and the Kshatriya. But in almost every other matchup, I think this is really, really good because our deck is traditionally very slow. All of our stuff starts popping off on turn 5, 6. We have some stuff, you know, on turn 3, but it's still like it's just a 2/2 that ramps us. It just kind of like dirtles around. Most of our big stuff takes a while to get out before we actually have an impact. We have some cards that help mitigate that, like the Lifrith, or typically you'd be running the Zawart here. But Demi Trainer being able to come down on turn 1 helps stop a lot of that early aggression from the 1-Year War aggro decks, so just any Xeon-based low-to-the-ground aggro deck is really good. And I think this card is actually pretty solid in the late game because it can still actually attack our opponent, and it doesn't matter how much damage we deal to their shields. Well, we only need 1 damage, right? So when we're smashing on in with our Shenlong, you know, killing their things, breaching their base, and leaving their shields exposed, then you can actually come on in with a lone demi-trainer to pick off the shields. So I've been trying this out. It's been working pretty well for me. Obviously, like I said, you have a big weakness versus the Pinger deck, but I think it's really solid versus all of the other decks. So yeah, I think it's great. And honestly, the Pinger decks still kill your Zawart super easily. So don't discount the demi-trainer. I would say if you're struggling versus the super aggro decks, I would say give this one a shot. Yeah, trying it out. I don't hate it. And those are our mobile suits. Let's talk about the rest of the deck, right? And it's going to be pretty simple. We have card draw. So we're running Overflowing Affection. I think every deck that runs white should run this card, at least right now in the Gundam card game. Level 2, 1 cost, draw 2, discard 1. Super good. It's just good card selection, good value, helps us get all the things that we need, helps us get rid of super high drops if we need some of our, lower end interaction. Yeah, absolute staple. Obviously, we're running with full 4. This is the card that I've alluded to a couple times. We care about Operation Meteor and G Unit, or G Team. Level 5, 1 cost, command. The path to victory or defeat. So you can only do this on level 5, but it's still really strong. And level 5 is a good turn where you can actually start playing some of this big stuff. So it's on main phase. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can reveal 1 Operation Meteor or G Team unit or pilot from among them and add it to your hand. Return the remaining cards to the bottom of your deck randomly. And so that means on turn 5, or turn 6 rather, you could actually, say you have a duo in hand, but not the Gundam Death Scythe, or vice versa. This is enough play points, right, to do it all. So you could you play your path to victory and defeat, find your Death Scythe or your duo that you need, and then you link them up. And the same is true for a lot of these interactions. The fact this is a 1-drop here is really good. So same is true for the Wing Gundam and Hero Yui. Turn 6, you can do both the Wing Gundam, Hero Yui, and then the Path to Victory Defeat, or rather, Path to Victory Defeat, and then get the piece of this that you need, which is just really good. Not as good on the Wing Gundam Zero since it's a level 8, cost 8, but all the rest, it's really solid. Once again, really solid with, well, you need one more resource here, right? You'd have to be level 6 as well to do this, to get the whole, to play it all. But still, you get what I'm saying, right? This is just a great card at a great point in the game to just get all your pieces together. It's super good. And then the final card in the deck is really boring, but really needed. This is the Underground Desert Base, a level 2, 1 cost, 0/6 base. Doesn't have any special effects, just has the normal base stuff. That's all it does. Why do we run this? Well, it's a 0/6. That's why we run it. Why is a 0/6 good? Well, it's good break points. There's a lot of stuff that deal 5 damage, and just having the 6 makes it just that much more resilient, and it's only a level 2, and it's a 1 cost. So something we can play early. If our EX base gets blown up by like a Zaku 2 or something early on, we can just slap this on and just get that extra bit of defense. And like I said, that's kind of what we need with this deck. Once we get rolling, once we start getting our Death Scythes, and once we start getting our Wing Gundams out, then it's pretty nice for us. But it's getting to that point, which is the challenge for this deck. If you can, then I think there's a certain degree of inevitability. If you can't, well, then you can't. But that's what we're going to be doing with a lot of these low-cost cards, is trying to, stop the blood flow, essentially. And yeah, that is our Wing Zero Shenlong Death Scythe Breach deck. Deck is super fun. Obviously, not a lot of people know how strong this archetype is. This is the version of the deck that I personally like the most. As always, I make tweaks to my decks here and there as I play them. Like I said, I think getting a fourth copy of Zero is kind of in the cards for me, as well as getting a 4th copy of Death Scythe. I really like the Shenlong Gundam in the deck. I really like Chang Wu Fei as well. I think he's super strong. I love how the deck has a lot of card draw and card selection. It makes it feel less clunky, and it kind of flows pretty well. And honestly, I'm currently liking the Demi Trainers. Just being a level 1 card, can play on turn 1, and just have some early interaction is really, really strong. So, yeah. I'd also say if you are playing against a blue-red pinger deck, just be careful that a lot of their pinger effects care about our mobile suits units being rested. So keeping this available to just block wherever you need, or specifically destroy shields is really good. Don't needlessly rest this and just chip in for like an incidental point of damage on their base, unless it's going to destroy the base and then you're able to do shield damage, because a lot of their stuff cares about, you know, deal 1 damage to a rested unit or something like that. Don't make it more vulnerable than it already is. And yeah, that's the deck. Super strong deck, really, really fun. If you love big, smashy, big Timmy style decks, this is one that I would highly recommend trying. Let me know what kind of decks you would like to see more in the Gundam card game, and or if you'd like to see this one featured in some gameplay. I think both of them are in the cards. I might do the Zaft deck next, but maybe we'll do some Spicy Brews. If you have a Spicy Brew as well, just let me know. Post in the Rogues Gallery community Discord or in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support on the Gundam card game content. Lots more planned, of course. And yeah, stay tuned for it all. We'll see you then.